Rachel Toms, and welcome to my channel, Be Inspired. Today I'm here with Missy Baker, Senior Loan Officer and Branch Manager at Movement Mortgage in Asheville, and she's going to be sharing some of her knowledge and expertise in the lending industry with us and what that could mean for you. Thank you so much for being here, Missy.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, I'm really excited to talk to you today because one thing as a realtor that I contend with a lot is when should the client get pre-approved? And I know from working with you, the sooner the better. Would you mind talking a little bit about why that's so important?
Yeah, so I know when I talk to a lot of clients, they're like, well, I'm not seeing a house on the market and, I want to wait until I find something. But the first thing is once you found it, so has everybody else. It's already pre-approved. So you want to be ready, pull the trigger so that you can put in an offer. That's one thing. The other thing that I've been finding, especially with credit fraud and whatnot, is that I'll run someone's credit, and a couple cases where I was like, your debt ratio is too high because you have a car payment with U.S. Bank. My client's like, I don't have a car payment with U.S. Bank. I bank with them, but I don't have a car payment. So he had gone to a car dealership, and someone from the car dealership used his pre-approval. They were making the payments perfect so that he wouldn't find out. And
wow.
So timing is everything, because he needed to get that fixed. His bank thankfully did fix that very fast, so that was great. Another situation though, a client, I ran their credit, and about a year ago, and I said, you've got one collection, because I always go over my client's credit, because it's important to find out if there's anything wrong on it. And he was like, I was late with my cell phone like one time, but I still have that same carrier, so they wouldn't have sent me to collections. So I told him, because I can do a credit simulation, I said, if you can get that removed, which you should be able to, then it's going to raise your score up about 80 points, which makes a huge difference in your interest rate.
Wow.
So when I did that, a year ago, I told him, he kind of, let it go to the side, didn't do anything. Then a few months ago, he's found another house, and we went to put an offer in. I had to update his credit at that point. And I was hoping that he had followed my directions, but he didn't. And then I was like, hey, now you got to do this. So then he was having to jump through hoops to get it all fixed and kind of panicking a little bit. So it's really important to do that right away so that you can be relaxed before you go under contract and know exactly where you are and if there's any issues. Because again, it's unfortunate that there is a lot of fraud out there and a lot of creditors that report incorrectly. I see it all the time, so it's always good to do that. Plus then you know what your scenario is. Maybe the payment's too high and you want to know what can you do to get it down. Again, I can do a credit simulation to say, well, if you can raise your interest rate, but your credit score to this by doing that, then it'll make your payments less. Also paying off other debts, things like that. So I give my clients a plan and a strategy so that when they go under contract, they're going to be ready to go.
Yeah, and I can vouch for that. Missy has done my personal loans, and she has always been a great advocate of information and giving you scenarios and options as you move forward. And one of the things I wanted to share with you guys is that she has this fantastic first-time homebuyer guide, and it's not just for first-time homebuyers, because the last house you bought was 30 years ago. Missy, how much has changed in 30 years in lending? A whole lot. So this book kind of starts from the very basic parts of it and then moves through all of the different scenarios and what has changed and what you might expect now that was different when you last bought a house. And if you want to call me or text me or email me, I'd be happy to share this with you. It's a wealth of knowledge. Well, thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.